Hello, it's Gail with this week's energy reading for the New Earth Leader Collective. I was inspired to do something a little different this week. I'm going to pull some tarot cards only from the major arcana for this week's energies. Now, I was definitely getting some things coming through before I started the reading. I'm feeling like there may be this week, and I'm feeling towards the end of through the end of the year, there may be a little bit of unsettled energy that you're going through. It's not a bad thing. It's kind of like if you've been going through a period of realigning some things in your life, and maybe things have been kind of all shook up. It's like the dust is starting to settle. I feel like this has been coming up in the readings, or at least I've been picking up on this energy. So it's like those things are starting to settle. It's like the new way that you've been calling in or bringing in is you're starting to see that in your reality. It's something that you've probably been experiencing inwardly, and now you're starting to see. It's not so much that it's manifesting outwardly. It's like you're starting to embody that and see the impact of embodying that. But it still feels a little unsettled because it's new. It's just a new way, right? But it's like a truer way of being. Okay. So let's see. What do we got here, Spirit, for this week's energies? We need to know where are we at? So right away, the Magician card's coming out. So yeah, it's like I'm hearing it's manifestation time. All the work that you've been putting in is coming back to you. You know, if you've been doing your inner work, or if you've been working on a project, or if there's something that you've been wanting to create in your business, maybe you're launching something. It's like this is the time to take that out of intentions and planning and watch it come to life. Now, that doesn't mean sit back and just let it magically unfold, even though this is the Magician card. It requires taking certain actions, right? But it's like not action from a place of scarcity, I'm feeling. Well, that's... I mean, you know, you probably know what that's like when you take action from that place. It's taking action. It's like listening to your wisdom, your inner compass, and then applying your intellect to bring it to life. Whereas we're typically taught to use our brains first, right? Like use the intellect, like think our way through things. And what I'm feeling for the energy for the rest of the year is like to just really practice that trust muscle, you know, whatever you're feeling in your gut. Okay, I keep shuffling, but I only got one more card, so. All right, so we have the Magician card, right? And so it's really about manifesting what you know, your true heart's desire, what you know in your gut to be true, whatever it is that's calling to you. This is the opportunity now to bring that down to earth, to manifest that, to bring it into reality. The time you've done enough planning, and it's like I'm getting this pressure delivering this. Like I feel like this urgency, and it's not so much like you're gonna miss the opportunity, but it's just like just trust that you have what you need already. You have everything you need within you. That's what the Magician is about. It's like you already have what you need. You don't need to analyze it to death, right? It doesn't need to make sense. And here's what I'm feeling is like there's a piece that you may be bumping up against this week and through the end of the year where it's like, well, this doesn't really make sense, right? And it's like an old way of approaching projects, approaching your work, approaching life. And it's kind of tripping you up a little bit. I feel like you've learned to be aware of that and you've learned to release it, but there's something about this month where it kind of comes back in and it's really kind of sneaky. You don't catch it right away. And it's almost like I don't want to say a test, but it is, in some ways, it's kind of like a test of, okay, are you going to, when the heat is on, when the pressure is on, when the spotlight is on, it's not so much heat and pressure, right? But like when the spotlight is on you or on this project, are you going to default to your old ways, or are you going to take the opportunity to take all the things that you've learned, all the tools that you have within you, and rise up to the occasion? And that's what is being recommended. And the reality is it's totally normal to sometimes fall back onto the old ways. But if you've been doing your inner work, if you've been working on being aware of those patterns, if you're familiar with those patterns, if you've been healing them and clearing them, then you'll catch this. You might not catch it right away because it is kind of sneaky, but you'll eventually realize, oh, I'm doing the thing that I always do, right? And then you'll be able to release it. But Spirit's saying, you've got everything, you've got it all already, okay? So you don't have to rely on the default mechanisms anymore. You've already got it all within you. You don't have to overthink it. You don't have to overplan it. You've got all the pieces that you need to go forward this week and this month, whatever it is that you've been working on, okay? Really powerful time for manifesting. And then we have the Hermit card. So this is about going within. And what I'm feeling for the Hermit card, it's interesting because, you know, the Magician is about like bringing what's into life, what's inside to life. So, and I'm feeling like this is a different perspective. I need to pull the Hangman card, but that's coming up for me too. It's like being reflective and reflecting upon. Okay. Okay. So this is also an opportunity. Now, if you do your business, you do your mission on the regular calendar year, right? Like not everybody thinks about their business in the calendar year. You know, some of us do cycles. Some of us might do like the financial year, which is like July to June. However it is that you think about your business cycles, it's like take the opportunity this month, and you may be reflecting on the last cycle, or it may be reflecting on the last quarter, or it may be reflecting on the last year. So whatever it is that cycle is for you, it's like make sure that you reflect on what worked, what didn't work, and not so much in the results. So they're saying like it's not just about the results, what worked and what didn't work. It's about how did it work for you? How did it feel for you? You know, was it draining or was it fulfilling? And it's like really take stock of the things that worked well from you from a results perspective, from an energy perspective, from a happiness, joy, fulfillment perspective. Those are the things that you're going to want to carry into 2022, into the next business cycle, the next cycle in your mission. Everything else, let it go. They're saying just let it go. I'm hearing let it, what is that phrase? Leave it on the editing floor or something like that. I used to be in journalism, and there was like some phrase about like just leaving it on the cutting room floor or something like that. I think it's in film too. And that's what they're saying. Like they're saying just, you don't need those things that didn't work out. Now, if there are things that maybe the results weren't the way that you had hoped, but energetically they fulfilled you, reflect on that and go a little deeper. Like, why didn't you get the results? Okay. So it's not so much like if you didn't get the tangible results that you were hoping for, to leave it on the cutting room floor. It's if you didn't get the tangible results and it didn't feel good, like the whole thing just didn't feel right, it felt off. Trust your heart, your instincts, your gut, whatever you want to call it, your intuition, and just let it go. You don't want to carry that into 2022. The other piece of this is also reflect on your wins, your celebrations, whatever you want to call it, your successes. Really sit down and take the time to reflect on everything that worked for you, from tangible results to just filling you up, right? Take the time, and it doesn't have to be huge accomplishments, like from the little tiny micro accomplishment all the way up. Spirit's saying, like, take that time to reflect on that, write it down, look at it, speak it out loud, and feel it in your body. We don't take the time to, I'm so guilty of this. I'm getting better at it. But especially if you're, goal driven, results driven, high performance, like that type A personality, achiever, like that kind of thing, you can really get stuck in a cycle of having goals, achieving the goals, and then moving on right away to the next goal, and never really celebrating the fact that, hey, like, I achieved my goal. Like, what does that feel like for me? How am I going to celebrate that? How am I going to acknowledge it? And it's like, that is also another thing that's not necessarily going to continue to work for you. It's something to let go of. If you're constantly chasing the goal, constantly chasing the milestone, constantly chasing the tangible result, and then moving on instantly, you're never going to feel that sense of acknowledgement and accomplishment if you don't stop and actually give it to yourself and celebrate it. So Spirit's really wanting you to remember that, and I don't, maybe because it's December, end of the year, like that kind of thing, like maybe you have a little bit more time. I know, holiday season for those who celebrate maybe doesn't feel like you have a lot of time, but take the time this month. Take the time, because we are closing out, regardless of whether or not you do your business on the regular calendar cycle, we are closing out a cycle. We're closing out the calendar year. And it's a great time to reflect on these things, to celebrate your accomplishments this year. And you know what? Even if your accomplishment is, hey, I just managed to get through the year, then celebrate it. Okay? It's been a really hard couple of years. Celebrate that. Acknowledge that. Like, hey, yes, I've been sticking through this. Or, I haven't, whatever. I'm not even going to throw out examples. You get the point. It's like, from the tiniest thing, like, hey, I got up and I showered today, right? Like, or whatever it happens to be. It does not have to, you don't have to have won a Nobel Peace Prize this year, is what Spirit's saying. Like, just appreciate yourself. Take some time to appreciate yourself. I don't know. I'm feeling like somebody really needed to hear that. It's like, if you're being really hard on yourself, that's gonna block your manifestations. All right, because you're judging yourself. And I'm feeling like maybe holding yourself to an unrealistic expectation, right? Like, it's not about being perfect. It's about exploring and living and learning and creating. It's not about being perfect. It's not about, it's about the journey. It's about the journey. It's not about the destination, is what I was going to say. Okay, I'm going to pull some spirit animal oracle cards. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So we got Moth Spirit, surrender now. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Powerful cards. Okay. Moth Spirit, surrender now. Okay. There's a lot of red here, a lot of red and orange and yellow. Lower chakras, masculine energy, but also action, like taking the action. But with the surrender here, it's like surrender to the intuition that's coming through and the wisdom that's coming through you and to you, and then take the action. We also have the Wolf card, turn knowledge into wisdom. Okay, so I feel like that's speaking to the intellect thing. You know, it's one thing to be book smart, right? It's one thing to know a lot of things, but what do you do with it? That's the wisdom piece of it, right? I'm feeling like if you're used to, like, we're taught a lot of knowledge, and we learn a lot of knowledge in a linear way. And it's like, that's not actually how the real world works. That's not how the natural world works. It's not linear. It's cyclical. It's spiral. I'm by no means an expert on this, but like, if you go and you look out in nature, right? You see the seasons. Like, there's nothing linear about it. I was just having a conversation about this with one of my kids. It's like, it's not always step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It might be step 1. It might be step A. It might be part B, like step 64. And that's okay. It's okay to kind of think outside of the box. It's like taking the knowledge that you've accumulated in your lifetime and applying it in a way that's intuitive, right? Turning that knowledge into wisdom. Panther Spirit, this is my card. This is my favorite card. Reclaim your power. This is your inner power. Like, really understanding wow, there's a lot coming up here. Okay, so this is not about having power over others. This is about knowing your truth, standing in your truth, being in your truth, speaking your truth, right? Showing up as who you are. Who you are. Who do you show up as when you feel completely safe, free? It's like showing up that way regardless of who's in the room. Now, it's easier to say than it is to do. And it's completely possible, right? Like, this is what you're manifesting. This is what you're manifesting, is reclaiming your power and your light. I'm hearing, it's funny because this is this very dark card. So the way that you reclaim that power is by going in and looking at your dark shit. Just saying. I'm just saying. Some of you don't want to hear that. You don't want to go there. And the only way to this place is to accept and embrace and face all the parts of you. The great parts, the parts that don't feel so great for you, the parts that you judge, The parts that you think shouldn't be a part of you, they are a part of you, and they are a part of you for a reason. They don't have to run the show, but part of reclaiming your power is reclaiming all of you. So I'm getting that there's going to be some shadow work, and I'm feeling like just everything that's going on cosmically. If you follow, I was going to say the cosmic weather report, but if you follow what's going on with the planets and everything, right? The cosmic weather report, these things are going to just come up naturally. Okay, so you can be proactive about it. I have a tool, a Heal Your Inner Child tool. That's something that you could use. I'll leave a link to that in the comments below. But there's all kinds of, you can journal, you can meditate, you can do Byron Katie's work. There's all kinds of tools to help you go deeper and heal those pieces of you, those aspects of you that you're struggling to love, right? And you can do that proactively, or you can just sort of continue on doing what you're doing, and it's going to come up anyway. You're going to see it reflected in situations, environments, relationships around you. It's just going to come up, and there's no right and wrong, good or bad. However you want to do it is your choice. Now, if you ignore it, if you don't want to do that kind of work, then it just goes round and round and round. It'll just come back around again. So, it's not about it's like have grace with yourself, do what you can. And if you're feeling like I can't do this, it's not like you missed out on an opportunity, right? It's just, it'll come back around again. So just know that too. Okay, it's not about high pressure, I've got to do this inner work so I can reclaim it. No, it's not like that. It's you don't have to put that kind of pressure on yourself. Okay? It's like if you're aware of stuff that you need to take a look at, then take a look at it. And if you don't, just know that it'll come back around for you to take a look at it another time. All right? And then finally we have Buffalo Spirit. The abundant universe will provide. Yeah, because you're manifesting, it's like the ships are coming in. When you do your inner work and you reclaim your power and you surrender and you turn your knowledge into wisdom, right? It's abundant universe. It's natural law, universal law, law of compensation, I think, right? So whatever it is, whatever effort you're putting out is going to be returned back to you. So if you're worried about finances, or you're worried about time, or you're anything that you consider abundant, right? Maybe it's love. Maybe it's business opportunities, or just success, things going well, right? It's like, well, whatever effort you're putting out, it will come back to you. It's universal law. So you don't even have to worry about it. You don't have to be fearful about it. Trust. I'm really feeling like we're all being called to trust on a much deeper scale. Much deeper scale. Okay? So play around with that. It's like Spirit's like play around with it. Play around with your trust. Ooh, they're reminding me that someone gave me the book The E-Myth. Darla, if you're watching on the replay, and I could play with it. Maybe I'll play with this a little bit too. But check out the book The E-Myth. And there's all kinds of manifestation exercises in that book that you can try that will help you start to get a sense of how the universe works, when you align your energy with your intentions, your desires, and your actions, that things manifest. And it's like a fun, playful low stakes kind of thing to sort of exercise that trust muscle. Okay. And to show you, because sometimes as humans we need proof, right? But to show you that, yes, this is an abundant universe. I mean, really, do you really need proof? All you have to do is step out your door or look out your window and see this is an abundant planet. So this week, this month, really work that trust muscle. Hold on, my kids are home. All right, thanks for bearing with me. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. And I'm going to pull a card from the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms for final message for this week. Oh my God. Okay. Sacred Union card came out. Partnership, romance. This is more of a mission reading. Yes, it is. Okay. This is more about business and the energies for a mission. So there may be a business partnership that you're either in or considering being in. Maybe there's some collaboration. I know that this is something that's been popping up a lot in the circles that I travel in. People teaming up, working together on joint projects, creative projects, and it's like whatever those things are that you've been planning, and intending leading up to this month with these business partners, right? These sacred partnerships is going to be successful. I'm also feeling like, I'm just looking at this, so when you're able to balance your feminine and masculine energies within you, okay, that's a very powerful combination for carrying out your mission, okay? The feminine energy is about having that flow, that wisdom, that intuition. The masculine energy is putting all of that into practice, into action, into outcomes, right? It's the structure that allows all of it to take place. So there's something about this month as well. If you're feeling a little off kilter with your feminine and your masculine energy, now this could be within yourself. This could also be just like the dynamics of your business. So you might be one or the other. Like you may be really into the structures of your business, but you're kind of like blocked off from your intuition, or vice versa. Like maybe you're really in more of the flow and more in that feminine energy, and you're overflowing with ideas, but you're lacking the structure to implement them, right? And so there is an opportunity this week and this month to take a look at how that's showing up in your business as well, and unifying those energies to support you, to support you as an individual, they're saying, and to support your mission going forward into 2022. All right, so that's your reading for this week. Apologies for all the background noise. It's okay. That's life, people. I will be taking a break next week, but I will be back in 2 weeks for your live reading here on Instagram. I also post these over at my YouTube channel if you want to check that out, in addition to some educational videos over there in regards to clearing visibility blocks and just general business advice. So if you want to check that out, check out Gail Nowak on YouTube. And I hope you have a great week. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.
Well,